What's up, guys? I'm Daemonxel, and today there was a huge Q&A about the new Glyph system, which is coming to the game. This was headed up through the devs, and they invited a bunch of content creators, prominent figures from the community, as well as the guys over from LortofTheRings.gg. So we have a lot of information about how to upgrade our Glyphs, where to get our Glyphs, and basically everything in between. Let's talk about it. Alright, so first of all, you're going to find these Q&A questions on the LortofTheRings.gg website. I'll put a link to it in the description below, so you can just go right there. But you'll also see videos from other content creators, especially ones that were there, like Swag. He was there, so he had questions as well. But the main question is that we have is, where do you get these glyphs? Now, the answer is pretty much a lot of places. You're going to get these glyphs through the campaign, the light and the shadow side, but don't worry if you don't want to waste energy on that, especially if you have other priorities such as starring up characters, gear, ability map farming. Well, actually that's only in Guild Track, but you get what I'm saying here. You'll be able to also get these from the raid. You'll be able to get them through the personal raid personal raid rewards, sorry, brain shot there for a second, and you'll be able to get these through the guild chest. Now, you'll also be able to get these through the supply store, and this is a great thing, you will be able to get glyphs through that 4-hour chest that we pop multiple times a day, especially if you're logging in multiple times a day. I know I tend not to be able to hit it 3 times a day, I get it 2 times a day, but it's going to be another source of these glyphs that we can get. Now, when we upgrade them, let's bring up to the primary stats. As you can see, they will be upgraded through 1 through 10. Now, you'll see tiers, right? We read about the tiers, we saw the tiers. Don't let that confuse you. The tiers is going to be tier 1 and tier 2, and that's just a separator. Tier 1 is stone glyphs, which is basically anything from level 1 to 5. Obviously, you're only going to be able to farm these up at level 1, and you're going to have to raise the level to 5. And 6 through 10 is going to be that tier 2 or gilded glyphs. Now, as we look at these stats, right, the primary stats, health, damage, armor, focus, and resistance, it's a pretty nice bump up, especially when we're going up. So we're going to max this. Let's base our math on a tier 10 because that's our ultimate goal. Obviously, not a lot of free-to-play players, or even Dolphins for this matter, have a lot of Gear 10 characters. I know I personally don't even have a Gear 9 yet. I know I'm slacking. I'm working on it. But with that in mind, the nice thing about this is it's going to mirror your gear tiers, right? So it's basically the same amount that you would get from leveling up Gear Tier 9 to Gear Tier 10 on the health, on the damage, on the armor, focus, and resistance. And you're going to basically get a mirror of that through the glyph. So it's adding these additional numbers in on that. So it's a nice little bonus there. Now, you can put all these on your level 10 character, raise them up, and get them up there. But if you take them out, because you're not going to be penalized when you take them out, you can use them as often as you want through multiple characters. In fact, they say later on in the Q&A that even if, say, you run, like, say, a full Limbus set, and basically you run your top raid team, right? And these are the most leveled out glyphs that you have. You can actually strip them from those characters and stick them on your next raid team and then run that team. That's right. The team itself that did that, which you submit your score, is exhausted, but the glyphs are not. Your glyphs can move between all your raid teams. Now, while doing this, if your raid team is a Gear Tier 10, but your second team is maybe Gear Tier 8, well, they're going to cap out. So if you have a health one on your tank, well, his additional is going to be 38.94. But when you slap that on to your Gear Tier 8 tank, well, it's going to throttle down to 25.25. And that's the way they're going to keep everything in line here. Everything's going to be throttled basically to where your gear tier, the gear tier that's on that character who's putting the glyphs on. Now, for the secondary, right, stats, we have percentages. Now, these are going to be revealed when you level them up. And the nice thing is, each of these has the same chance to roll. So in other words, you'll have the same odds of rolling a 0.5% on health than you would a 1.0% on health. So obviously you're going to want to roll multiple times on multiple glyphs to try and get the best set possible for what you're looking to do. Now I know I might be talking a little fast, but that's because I'm from Jersey. I've had a lot of caffeine today, and it's been a very, very long day, and I'm over-caffeinated and just kind of wired right now. So as we go down the max stats that we can have, so the max total across all 6 glyphs. Now, this isn't just on one glyph. This is on a total of all 6 glyphs. You can only have a total max of 30% health, 45% damage, 60% armor, 30% focus, 30% resistance. They lowered the speed from 90 to 45. Now, as it says here, all values are subject to change. These can change again before they are implemented into the game. But when we initially learned about these glyphs, they said the max speed was going to be 90. They did some internal testing, and they were seeing that characters were overlapping turns. So, obviously, they brought this down to 45. It's going to help. It's going to be able to move your characters a little bit faster than your other characters. So yes, you will be able to assign your lineup how you want, depending if you get those max rolls on the speed. That being said, though, you will not be able to take, say, 2 turns with a really fast character with the speed maxed out glyphs than you would on the smaller character. So basically, you're not going to be able to lap your characters. Continuing on, we have a total of 90% plus critical damage, 30% block mitigation, 90% critical chance, and 60% block. And again, we're going to learn how to level these up when we pay gold to do that. And the nice thing about this, it's not expensive. Everyone was worried, whoa, is this going to be a gold sink? Are we going to be having issues with gold flow again? And no, we are not, because it's going to cost 2,300 gold to bring a glyph up to 5. Right? And if we don't like the stats, and as we saw on this right here, once we bring it up to level 5, we're going to get a reveal on what those secondary stats are. So obviously, if you're looking for a speed stat, or if you're looking for a critical chance stat, obviously, if you didn't roll it, you can go ahead and sell that if you're not going to use it somewhere else. And when we do sell that out of our special inventory, we will get 2,070 gold back, and a pittance from what you paid. So basically, you're getting back 90% of what you put into it. Now, obviously, if you go higher than 5 and you sell, say, a tier 6 one, you're not going to get these enchantment scrolls back. That is a fact. So I would say bring it up to 5. It's very cost effective to do that. See if those stats have what you want, and then roll with that. Now, obviously, if we bring this up higher, we are going to need these spell scrolls. Now, the first 3 levels, 6, 7, and 8, you're only going to need enchantment scrolls. Level 9, you're going to need enchantment and illusion, and then 10, you're going to need enchantment, illusion, and sorcery. Now, if you're wondering where to get those, well, there's answer down here. We're actually going to get them through the guild and personal raid reward tracks for enchantment. So we're going to get a lot of enchantment. We're going to get both the chest and your personal track. The illusion ones, which only work in level 9 and level 10, gear tier wise, you're going to get that in your personal raid track and supplies for regular currency. So you'll be able to buy them with the gold currency we already get from the raids to purchase those illusion spells. The sorcery ones you can only purchase with mithril. Obviously, if you score high enough, you will get them in your personal raid reward track. But to buy them, you will need mithril currency, and we are all knowing that we are not hitting that mithril currency just yet. Well, some are not. I'm just saying, for the bulk of the community, they are not getting that mithril currency currently right now. Now, this is a beautiful thing that I learned, and I love this fact here. A lot of people were saying, with the introduction of glyphs, will they be able to make difficulty 4 and 5 of the raids doable for various chapters? Well, the devs turned around and said that the raids were always built with glyphs as a factor. So yes, once you get your glyphs on, you should be able to roughly raise one difficulty. So if you're in, say, difficulty 3 now, and you're repeatedly hitting that 900 score, that top score in that, well, with a full set of glyphs leveled to what your character is, well, you should be able to go up to level 4 and score higher. So that is a great thing. So we should be seeing a lot more rise in the raid progression, the raid top scores, and maybe touching those higher guild boxes. Now, those of you out there with a PvP mindset, such as Arena, and hopefully the wide PvPs that we're going to get in the future, you can see the glyphs on your enemy. In other words, you'll be able to see the set bonuses, whether they're running Limbus, whether they're running Withering, but you will not be able to see the exact stats that they have on those glyphs. Now, I know we talked earlier about your special glyph inventory. Well, that glyph inventory is going to be able to house 500 glyphs plus 6 for every character that you have unlocked. So you really should not be losing space, you know, right off the bat farming these things. You should probably have a huge amount of glyphs in your pocket that you can always be rolling on and finding out what you have. And like I said, if they're not the set that you want, just go ahead and sell it and get more. Now, if you do decide to spend energy on these glyphs so in other words, maybe there'll be a glyph on, say, a character shard node that you're farming. Well, they say that the glyph drop chance is roughly the same as the shard drop chance. So you're probably going to get the majority of time between 2 and 4, maybe sometimes 6, or if you're really lucky, maybe 8 or 10. Another good question that was asked was, will it affect summoned characters? Will the set bonuses or the stat bonuses spread onto those summoned characters? It says here, the primary effect of the summoned character, but not the bonus. So in other words, we're going to get... So I take that as the primary stat, but you're not going to get the set bonus on your summons. Now, how is this going to affect, say, the Goblin team, whose, you know, primary feature is when they die, they summon another character? That is a very good question. That we probably won't know until we actually get it in our hands and actually do the testing in-game. A lot can be said about this. A lot can be said about how it will specifically affect, say, Éowyn's, you know, summon, or Nuraz's summon, or even the new Goldar with the new, was it Chara? Her Goldar summons, with her special 2, I think it is. Again, we're going to get this pretty soon. I'm thinking probably mid-December, hopefully, maybe before Christmas, and we'll be able to know a lot more. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of theory crafting going on. There's going to be, when it comes out, there's going to be a lot of testing. So yes, we probably will have, some infographics on what the best glyphs are to run with which specific teams. I can already tell you right now that I'm going to throw a Limbus set on my Elrond. I think that's going to be the best thing. Oh, one of the things they did say about the Limbus set is that the energy that it builds through your ability use, it's going to go to the ability that you have on cooldown. In other words, if you're starting the round with a heal, right, then it's going to probably throw it right to your tidal wave. But if you have both your tidal wave and your heal on cooldown, well, when you use that one of those abilities, say the tidal wave, it can go to either one. It's not going to prioritize which one has the bigger cooldown. It's just going to go to one of your abilities that has a cooldown currently. Another good question was on Withering. When a character inflicts a Bane on their turn, they deal 15% true damage. Limit once per turn per target. Is this 15% damage multiplied by the health of a character who received the damage? And the answer to that is the target's max health does not affect it. The 15% of the attacker damage stat, so no, it's not going to affect it no matter how much health they have on. But yeah, that's what we got. I'm really excited to play around with this system, to unlock the system, to you know, just the RNG of it. Hopefully I'll get some good rolls. We all know that I'm not very lucky, if you've been watching any of my videos. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm hyped. Tell me what you guys think. Are you guys looking forward to this? I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to add more fun to the raids. Maybe swim down that RNG that we have on some of the chapters. But tell me what you think's down in the comments. And if you like my content, go ahead, help me out with the channel by giving me a subscribe, give me a like, maybe share the video. And until I talk to you guys again, have a great week, have a great weekend, adventure safe, and good luck to you and your fellowship.